Hello, today I'm going to be answering another question that is popular, which is how long does a workers' compensation appeal take? The reason why this is complicated is because it depends on what you mean by appeal. Appeal in work comp land can mean the trial level. Let me explain. So you have an insurance company or an employer or an adjuster who could make an initial determination on your claim as to whether they're going to accept or deny your claim. You filed a claim with them, you've given them the piece of paper, and they're making that decision. If you don't like that decision, or if you don't like the actions they're taking or whatever, you can appeal by filing an application with the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board, the WCAB. That's the trial level, actually. Even though it's got the word appeal in it, it's the trial level. That can be really confusing for people, and I really wish that they had come up with a way to do this administrative law in a way that is less confusing for the general public, but they didn't. So if you want to file an appeal of the initial decision, then you file an application with the WCAB. So if the question that you're trying to ask really has to do with how long a case can last, then there is no easy answer to that question. You can settle a case like that. You can settle a case before you even file an application. You can settle a case with an adjuster if you really want to. It can be done. You don't even need a lawyer. It can be done. It depends on a variety of factors. But a case, I've also seen a case last more than 20 years. It just depends. It depends on everything that you're going through. It depends on the number of body parts that are involved. It depends on the number of insurance carriers that are involved, the number of employers who are involved. It depends on how many injuries you've got going on at the same time. It depends on how many doctors you need. It depends on how many specialties. It depends on so much. And it also depends on the particular date of those injuries, because if they're before the law changed in certain areas, that could mean all kinds of things for you, where it may not be advantageous to settle your claim, or it may be advantageous. It just depends. And this is why you may very well need to talk to a lawyer, because there are so many factors. There is no way I could put all of this together in one video, not even if the video was an hour long. There are so many exceptions and factors. So you really would need an entire legal education, which is why you just should talk to a lawyer and they can tell you sort of which way to go. All of these workers' compensation attorneys that represent injured workers, they're all going to give free consultations, including myself, but other lawyers will too. So, shop around. I'm going to get back to the initial question, which is how long an appeal takes. Earlier I said that the WCAB, it's really at the trial level. But if you lose at trial, you can appeal again. And that appeal can take a really long time. The board is supposed to decide whether in fact they are going to accept the appeal within 60 days. But they don't have to render a decision at that time. Sometimes they do. So sometimes you get a decision within 60 days, but sometimes they just indicate within the 60 days that they're going to accept it, and they take a very long time to make an actual decision. That is happening on one of my cases. It's been on appeal for 3.5 years now. They're just thinking about it. It's a very complicated issue, so they're taking their time to really do a good job. And that's great and everything, but it's been a long time. Then you have another level of appeal, which is with the California Court of Appeal. That also, who knows how long that could take. Depends on whether there's going to be oral argument and how many briefs back and forth the court will allow. And it's just, it takes such a long time sometimes. And I really wish I had a straightforward answer for you, but I don't. At least with this video, even if I'm not able to give you an exact amount of time, it takes, so many days, so many months, or so many years, hopefully at least you can be satisfied with the reason why it might take such a long time, and it's just because there are so many factors that maybe you hadn't thought of before. And I don't know if that helps give you clarity or whether it just frustrates you. So I'm hoping not to frustrate you. I'm hoping at least to give you some insight as to why your case might be taking a long time. If you think, however, that your attorney is dragging his or her feet, it might be time to switch attorneys. Some attorneys don't like that, and they won't allow, they won't take on cases where there's another attorney that's involved, but some attorneys will. So just check it out. And if you are not represented, and if you are dealing with a judge on an improper basis, meaning you're just not represented, then if you haven't yet spoken to an information and assistance officer, also called an I&A officer, which is, you have one located at every workers' compensation appeals board, you really need to probably talk to an information and assistance officer. This is going to be a free resource for you. And a lot of times the I&A officer, they can help you settle your case. But if it's kind of beyond their expertise and they think, no, you really do need a lawyer, they'll let you know. And there's a list of lawyers there that the board usually has, and you can look through it and see if you want to call any of those people. So I hope this has been helpful, even if it didn't answer your question directly. And please give this video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Leave a comment or question below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. And if I can't answer the question, at least I can explain why it's an impossible question to answer. And subscribe if you haven't already done so. I will see you in the next video. Until next time.